Yes, guys, welcome back. Welcome back to Carefree Lewis G. Welcome to another live stream. I don't know how long this one's going to be. I'll be real. I just wanted to keep the daily uploads going. And there is news to talk about, even though there isn't really a big amount of news to chat about. But we are going to talk about the potential rumours linking us with Gianluigi Donnarumma for the summer. We also got the original panel with us to get through all of the news before we drop the link for everyone else to get involved in the StreamYard and to get involved and have their say as well. But first off, we were talking about the Turkey-Netherlands game. They've just gone 3-0 up as well.
Sorry? Oh, bloody hell.
They've just got 3-0. They've just gone 3-0 up now. Literally just scored as soon as they turned it. I think it was an outside the box shot.
Holland are fucking awful, aren't they, really? Without Van Dijk.
Yeah, talk to me about the first half, because you've seen it. I haven't even seen the first
I saw it. I only started watching about the 40th minute onwards when I saw they were like 2-0 up or whatever. Right.
Okay, so we've
gone into
the game late. Yeah, it is what it is. All right, cool. Well, everyone, smash the like and subscribe button if you guys haven't done so already. We are going to get into Donnarumma news sooner or later. Check out Scott's Twitter. Check out Johnny's new channel as well. It's all down in the description below. And yeah, Johnny, chat to us. First off, how's the day been, bro?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. Just getting through these days to get through the international break. Keep trying to keep busy with all this lockdown going on. But yeah, all good, guys. All good. Positive vibes always.
I hear that. Positive and relaxing as well. Like, I don't really need to wake up in a rush to stream anymore. There isn't a lot of news to talk about as well, which is jarring for the content aspect of things, because we're still sitting there and just thinking, well, there's fuck all to talk about and there's nothing else for us to do for the day. But same way, with the amount of months that we spent with so many consistent Premier League games coming in and out, kind of need the rest as well. Scott, chat to me, man. How's your day been as well, bro?
Mine's been pretty good. I've been people are going to probably mock me for this, but I've been like watching stuff, getting ready for the MLS season to start. I've been doing some preview stuff on their channel, which has been fun to watch. Getting excited for that in about a month's time. Apart from that, just been enjoying myself, relaxing.
How long's the MLS season? So it starts from April and then finishes when?
December, I want to say.
Okay,
I can't remember. But yeah, I want to get players January.
Yeah, that's why I probably would get players in January from the MLS, pop around for a month or two. Those short loan deals. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, guys, as usual, smash the like and subscribe button if you guys haven't done so already. We will be opening up the lines in about probably 20 minutes. I'll be honest. I don't know how long we're going to go on the Donnarumma news, though, but we're going to talk about a bunch of different topics surrounding it. And once we're done, we'll open the lines out and every one of you can jump on and have your say as well. And we'll just discuss the Donnarumma news. But we'll get into it now. And there's been rumours, and it's just come out from Simon Phillips' Twitter a few hours ago, that PSG and Chelsea are growing more confident that they can persuade Gianluigi Donnarumma to switch clubs. And both clubs are ready to meet the demands of him and his agent, Mino Raiola. This is according to Sports Media Set. And they've also said Chelsea look to have a 20% chance of signing Donnarumma if he leaves AC Milan in the summer. They're willing to meet the demand should Milan fail to agree to a new contract. And PSG are more or less in the pole position should he leave. Now, they've been rejecting renewal proposals over the last few months, and I think his contract expires at the end of the summer as well, which means we would be able to sign him on a free, but you have to take Raiola tax into account as well. And if he is going for free, that means it's going to be a massive, massive wage deal that we're going to have him on, and it's probably going to ruin our wage structure in general. First off, Scott, original thoughts. What are your thoughts on Donnarumma potentially joining Chelsea in the summer?
I think that it would be a good transfer in terms of the player, just because I think he's a good, like we've seen, anyone who's watched Serie A this season looks at his, how he's performed. He's doing well. There are a few concerns I'd have. I don't know how big his wages are, number one. Number two, it would mean dealing with Mino Raiola, and he's not always the easiest customer to deal with. I also think, I see people going, oh, it's going to be a free transfer. It's not really a free transfer because, again, with Mino Raiola, there's agent fees. There's, depending on how much wages it's going to be, it's not really free. It just doesn't have a transfer fee attached to it. As I said, he would be an upgrade, but I said this before, if we're looking at places we need to upgrade, goalkeeper's about fifth on that list. And yeah, it wouldn't cost us a lot of money, so to speak, but it still wouldn't be somewhere I go, that's somewhere we need to improve straight away. And there's also the fact that PSG are going in for him, and they've got an aging keeper in Navas. Donnarumma would be a brilliant replacement. He's better than Rico, far better than Rico, who's their backup at the minute. And if they want him, they'll be able to get him.
Yeah, that's the thing as well, because I fully understand that PSG would probably be in pole position going for this. And you said it excellently already. our wage structure is already not a massive mess, but it's a little bit of a mess compared to what it is right now. We've already spent over 100 million on Kepa and Mendy in the last 3 years, and that's 2 goalkeepers. And realistically, when you look at in terms of spending money on goalkeepers, you're not meant to be spending regularly on them. They're meant to be long term. They're always meant to be long term options for the future for a good number of years. We've already spent 72 million on Kepa. That hasn't worked. We spent how much was Mendy? 20 million or something close to that?
20,
And
yeah,
to be
20 or
fair to
27,
Mendy as well, it's worked. Mendy's been amazing this season. Someone brought up in the comment section as well. Mendy has more clean sheets than goals conceded and has a 78% save percentage.
And it's also someone else who's put later on. He's arguably up, like he's one of the 3 I'd say that's in conversation for player of the season. Like,
yeah,
it's
because
him,
he has been that
it's him still with Mount, really. Like,
yeah, you have to look at consistency when it comes to players, and we haven't had a lot of consistency this season. I can't lie, I'm not going to push that far to say Mendy for player of the season because I do think a huge reason for that has been our defense as well. But he deserves to be in the conversation because, like, the amount of clean sheets that he's had this season, especially compared to the issues we had in goal last season, he's come in and vastly improved our squad just by existing in between the sticks. So he definitely has to be in there with a shout. But same way, Donnarumma is also a great option too, which is why it's jarring because we always speak about being ruthless and the ruthless mentality around Chelsea. And we especially talk about that when we're talking about our forwards and potentially being interested in Erling Haaland, when we have Timo Werner, who's still got the most goal involvements for us this season, or Tammy Abraham, who's still our highest goal scorer this season and last season as well. But it's because we always strive for better. Does that also rely to in goal as well? Because that's the thing, because Mendy's been great this season. And he doesn't deserve to be benched based on the performances that he had this season. But if a better goalkeeper is out there, would it necessarily be a bad thing to go to him as well? Like, I'm not saying this is my opinion, but I'm just playing devil's advocate and I'm going around and seeing all aspects of this. Johnny, what's your thoughts?
I like Donnarumma. I think he's only 22 and he's been around for quite a while. He's had a lot of game time. He's got a lot of really good attributes. He kind of gives me a vibe bit with Czech and a bit of Courtois in him, which I've sort of seen when I've looked at. I mean, I've looked at long clips of him, but not. It's not like I've been watching him every game throughout. Every season. But I like him. I think if the wage structure is affordable and reasonable, I'm sure Marino will negotiate on that well. And obviously we've got London. Whether he wants to go London or whether he wants to go to Paris is the kind of the deal breaker, I reckon. I would say, yeah, it's a bit unfortunate because we've got Kepa on our books already. What does that mean for Kepa if we did sign Donnarumma? Is Kepa going to go on loan? Is a loan enough for us? Because obviously, are they going to pay his astronomical wages? I don't know. So that might hinder the deal. And Mendy's just been, you can't complain about Mendy. I mean, he's been flawless. So I think if you look at all the goalkeepers across Europe, Donnarumma is definitely one you talk about and that you know of. And I feel like we shouldn't pass on someone like that because I like him. I think he'd be good for us going forward because Mendy's what, 20? Is he like coming up to 30s? He's not young. So maybe it's a good option. I just don't think if he's going to come to us, he's not going to want to sit on the bench. He's going to want game time. So if we do actually, let's say, become his parent club, are we going to loan him out and keep Kepa as number 2? Because Kepa really, out of Donnarumma and Kepa's going to be the one more than likely that's going to accept being number 2 and sitting on the bench to Mendy. So maybe you loan Donnarumma out to another club, but you've got him because he could be that one to replace Mendy and definitely Kepa. That's my thought process, but I would like to go for him personally. I think why not for a free transfer?
This is the thing though, because the first thing for me was the money aspect, and we already said we've already spent over 100 million in 3 seasons on goalkeepers. I look at the left back situation, for example, and we spent 50 million on Ben Chilwell, and I think because of that, I don't really expect us to go out for another left back or especially pay that sort of money for another one either. And I get Donnarumma comes for free, but Scott's already said agent fees, wages, that's all going to come into account. That's also going to be massive as well, based on the fact that they don't have to pay the transfer valuation fee. And Raiola is going to know that when he goes into negotiations. Also, as well, we're also really, really interested in Erling Haaland. And do we really want to give Raiola that sort of power where he has control over two of our best players? Because we know Raiola players usually like to bounce around clubs. So really and truly, this is going to be a problem where if they continue to develop at Chelsea, there's only going to become more and more contract talks that are going to come out of that. He's going to want to start getting more money for himself too. And if Chelsea don't start, that was nearly 3-1. Okay, fair play. Yeah, and if Chelsea don't agree to those wages, he's going to start speaking to his clients and asking them to move clubs. Go on, Scott. What are you going to say?
I was going to say, I think as well, you talk about like contract situations. You know for a fact that if he comes to our club in 4 years' time, he ain't going to be at our club anymore. Like, because you said he reminds you of Courtois, Johnny. I think he reminds me of Courtois, but in terms of like wanting to go, this will be simply a stepping stone for him to move to a Real Madrid, a Barcelona, a PSG eventually, a City or whoever. Like, if he comes to our club in 3-4 years, he won't be at our club anymore. And do you really want to then have another changeover at goalkeeper where we're changing them every 5 years consistently, or do you want to go for someone and have someone like we are going to need to change Mendy eventually?
Yeah,
but there is no danger. Look at Mendy's background, where he came from. There's no danger, I feel like, in him ever wanting to move or ever wanting to like go somewhere bigger or want more because he's had nothing. Like his background is one where he came from nothing and is now being given the opportunity at a bigger stage than he was at. And so with Donnarumma, I feel as though, and especially with Raiola, as Lewis said, like they're going to want to move eventually. So you're going to end up giving wages to this guy. Say he gets like 200 grand a week to eventually move on, and then by that point, our wage structure will be in tatters because other people want 200 grand a week, and then we're left in a situation like Man United are, where you've got inflated wages. No one wants to pay them. Trying to loan anyone out is going to require us to pay the majority of the wages.
The problem, Scott, is we've got Kepa there. No one's going to pay. You know, if Kepa's going to go, it's a loan deal, as far as I'm concerned.
Definitely.
So you're going to loan him out, great. But you bringing in Donnarumma, he ain't going to want to sit on the bench. And probably Mendy. Why is Mendy going to sit on the bench? He's played for us for a season and done fantastic, so he deserves to play. But with Donnarumma, I wanted Donnarumma before we bought Kepa. Because when we bought Kepa, I was like, why didn't we go for Donnarumma? Because he's played enough. Like, he's a big keeper. He's good. He's decent with, all round. He's decent. And he'll only get better. And he's one of the young talents. Do you know what I mean? In goalkeepers in Europe. Why didn't we go for him instead of Kepa? Because we paid astronomical fees for Kepa. We might as well paid 50, 60 million for Donnarumma and be done with. We probably wouldn't have Mendy now.
Yeah,
because
that's where.
But
Aaron, I was just saying, that's where for me, like with what you said about the Mendy thing and not wanting to sit on the bench like Donnarumma, that's where for me you look to move Kepa on if you can, try and recoup some fees or loan or whatever, and you get someone in who's like 24, maybe 25, who in a couple of years can be that number one. You remember how it was with Courtois and Cech, where it got to a point where Cech became not too old, but became a bit. Like, he started to dip in a bit. Courtois was on the up, and you could easily interchange him.
But I feel like Donnarumma's at that age now, Scott. So he's at
I
that
agree,
age where
but
we
the
could.
problem again that we go back to is he doesn't want to sit on the bench. And if we look, there's no point loaning him out because he's not going to want that. And if we loan him out to a club, it's going to be a bigger club or as big a club as we are, and it'll just be a case of we'll have signed him to sell him and never play for us, sort of thing.
I mean, what about Barca? Don't they need a goalie?
No, they got to Sagan and Neto at the minute.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I don't know, man. If we're in for him, there's a reason for it, obviously. I'm not bothered about the money. If you want to pay the wages, cool, pay wages. We ain't got financial fair play. We ain't got to worry about nothing. Roman can spend as much as he wants this year, and Raiola knows that. So it's down to how Marina plays ball, how she wants to negotiate. Because, like with the Havertz deal, Real were interested in him. Bayern were interested in him. A lot of the big European clubs were interested in, and no one had the money on the table. and
Yeah,
we
the
have.
only biggest issue with Mendy is, and people were talking about in the chat as well, it was the African Cup of Nations, and that's coming next January, and that means we're going to be without a goalkeeper for about 4 to 6 weeks. If that goalkeeper is Kepa that we're stuck with, unless his confidence has been fully reinvigorated by then, like we've got a big problem for our answer next season. Next season is when we're meant to be seriously pushing for the title contendership. But final thoughts. Just let me know you guys' final thoughts on Edouard Mendy in itself. I did say I was going to do a call in. My dumbass didn't realize I literally was going to go on Sarcasm City at 6:30. So just give me your final thoughts and we'll wrap it up here. But go on, let me know you guys' thoughts.
No, Lewis.
What an L, man.
You idiot.
I'm not serious.
Oh, mate. Go on, Scott. You go, bro.
I need to collect my thoughts. Like I get why it's being brought up again because he's coming to the end of his contract. There's no, as I said, like if I'm looking at this from just a pure football basis of where we need to improve our team, goalkeeper, apart from what you talked about, Lewis, with African Cup of Nations, there's no reason for me why we should be upgrading our goalkeeper unless we're talking Oblak or like Allison levels for me. Like, I don't really see the point. I'd rather go and get a Haaland, or I'd rather go and get that destroyer DM, or I'd rather go and get that world-class centre-back, or that cover at left-back if we're going to be without Alonso and we think that Emerson moves on or whatever. Like, there are other positions we need to focus on first rather than goalkeeper.
Well, that's interesting. The African Nations is an interesting point.
Yeah, because that kind of throws it all into works. But same way, do we do all of this just because of the African Cup of Nations?
I think you have to. I think you have to consider it. Yeah. Do you really feel confident going? Was it 10 weeks? Did you say?
5 weeks. Is it?
No. 4 to 6. 4 to 6.
Who do you play for as well? Who do you play for as well? Is it Senegal?
Senegal.
Yeah. That's 4 to 6 weeks of football, and potentially you're going to have 2 games a week. That's I mean, look, I put it out there, and I said, look, if any manager's going to build Kepa back up to what he was like under Sarri, Tuchel's the guy. Can he get Kepa's confidence booming with the defence that he's going to have in front of him now? Because he's had 3 clean sheets now since he's been in goal. That's only going to improve his confidence. Would we get through it without having to spend big on a Donnarumma?
It depends on the teams, because you got to look at the teams Kepa's played against. It's been Barnsley, Morecambe, Sheffield United. Like it's good and everything. Like it's literally been bottom level for Kepa until then. So I'll take the clean sheets, but I'm not getting gassed about it either because we all got gassed over Kepa's first season too, didn't we?
I just think you go and get. I like Donnarumma. I like him. I think he's going to be one of the best goalkeepers in the world. I can't say that for many goalkeepers out there at his age. I don't think there is anyone, to be honest.
No, because there are a lot of good parts to his game, and it isn't really just hype because of his age or anything like that. 70% save percentage this season. He's got good anticipation of shots. His reflexes are semi-decent as well. He can use his frame just like Mendy does, whether it's rushing out for a 1v1, whether it's on the line, whether it's collecting crosses. Even as a 50% save percentage from last season, 10 penalties, saved 5 of them. And that's something that we haven't seen in Edouard Mendy either. There's a quality keeper there. And I'm not just going to ignore it because of Mendy's form either. But same way, it's like Mendy's been in good enough form. We should be able to have the confidence in him too.
Do you reckon Czech must have sounded out Donnarumma? He must have, because they might have tried.
I don't know, because it could have easily been a board decision too. Yeah. We know what they've been like. We saw last season and the summer window.
Yeah.
I was going to say, for all we know, it could just be a Mina Raiola thing where it's just
true.
I want to work with him. Like that's all it could be, because it could just be, unless you're on that level of like a Haaland, we don't want you because we don't want to deal with him. That's all it could be. Because I know there's one. Is it United or is there another club that's just refused to deal with Raiola?
In world football, I wouldn't blame there being more than one club.
One club, I'm sure, is just.
We're all right with him, though, aren't we? We're not. We haven't really got a sour relationship with Raiola, have we? From what I know,
no. But that's half the reason why the Lukaku deal didn't work.
Yeah, but Lukaku, yeah, okay. But I'm kind of glad that didn't happen anyway, to be
Really?
honest. Yeah, I never wanted Lukaku.
I
I
can't
just,
lie. I'd take Lukaku right now in a heartbeat.
nah,
Over Haaland, I'd take Lukaku right now.
I wouldn't take him. I just, for me, he's not. He's a really good striker. Don't get me wrong, he's really good, and there's not many like him. But I just think the way Tuchel wants to play ain't gonna work. He just hasn't got that touch. That first touch for me is so important, and he hasn't got it. He's too inconsistent with it. I know he's devastating with his strength and running, but I just not for me. For that money as well, no chance, no chance. I'd rather
All
get
right,
bloody Aguero, mate, and flipping
all
pay
right,
his
cool.
wages.
Well, we said we were going to do a call in. I can't lie. I already promised Flawless I'm jumping on Agenda FC. So we're definitely doing a call in tomorrow. Like now
Yeah,
I'm sure I'm doing content tomorrow because I was going to take another day off. But now we're going to be doing content tomorrow. We'll find something to talk about. We'll get everyone else involved so we can discuss. But yeah, sorry for the false alarm, guys. We were going to do a call in, but yeah, other things had happened. But big up everyone who's been involved anyway. Smash the like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Check out Scott's Twitter. Check out Johnny's YouTube channel. It's all down in the description below. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. It's been a short one, but take care, like and subscribe. And as always,